All right, welcome back to Charlie and Friends. Well, this week we got a wild bunch of people coming in today. I mean, going from Kornbred to Pig and the Haven. They're all here today, and plus my sidekick over here, Jeff. He'll be around today also. And if I remember right, last week I told you guys about, I was going to give you a fish story. And I thought of two of them coming up here, which one to do first. And I think the first one is going to be about when I was a young kid. Because growing up, it was on that ranch I used to talk about all the time. My dad, he worked quite a bit, but when he took off, he'd always go fishing. And him and his old buddies, they'd come back and brag about all the fish they got. So one weekend, he came up to us boys and says, you know what, I never took you guys fishing before. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You guys get all the stuff ready, and we'll take you back in there in the high country and put you on a horse, and you guys just do the work for us, and we'll catch plenty of fish. So you guys get the food ready and all that. So we did. We went in the cupboards, got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, loaded them up in all the saddlebags. That evening, my dad asked us if we got everything loaded up. Oh, yeah, Dad, we got everything. He goes, okay. He said, well, it's going to be back in our way. We just can't run out and get something. We got you, Dad. So next morning, we all got up early in the morning, got on them horses and started packing back. And it was like a 12-hour ride on horseback to get back in where they was fishing at. But according to them, the fishing is so great, you just threw a line out there and boom, you pull one back. I mean, you didn't even need bait, to catch fish the way they talk. So first night when we got there, we came in and get dark. I mean, we left that morning at dark, and it was getting dark when we pulled in where this lake was at. So first thing my dad asked us to do was make a campfire and make some coffee. And both of us, all three of us, looked at each other like, huh? Coffee? We don't drink coffee. And that's, well, where's the coffee, boys? We didn't bring none. Oh, man, he blew a cork. Came unglued on us. I told you guys to pack that. Well, yeah, we did. We packed everything we thought. We didn't drink coffee, and so we didn't pack no coffee. He said, okay, what do you got to eat tonight, sons, for supper? We got cornmeal, and we got flour. Well, what are you going to do with that cornbread and the flour? Well, Dad, you said there's a lot of fish here. Oh, we ain't got time to fish tonight, so what you got? Well, that's what we got, and a little bit of grease. And we figured you'd give us fish. Man, you're talking about somebody mad. If there's switches up there and these other people wasn't with us, we'd got to switch again. But he couldn't do that in front of all those other people. He just chewed our butts out real good. And the next day, so here comes, loaded up, got all our stuff ready to go fishing. Said, man, we're looking for breakfast stuff now, because we had nothing for breakfast, no nothing. We didn't bring no cereal, no nothing. We brought everything for fish. That's what we thought in our minds. That's all we needed. So we went out there. We brought bait, though. We brought these worms. And we kept casting out there. They cast out. We fished all day. And we didn't get one. Not a fish. So that night, man, we all went hungry. Next day, went out again. Said, oh, we got one more day of this. We tried fishing again. Didn't work. Not a fish, one at all. Finally, my dad got all mad and told us to pack up, get out of here. And told us, boys, I'll never take you guys any place again like that. How embarrassing you guys was. You don't know. And then we didn't get no fish. You jinxed it and everything else. I mean, he was ticked. So let me swear. After that, he never did take us back on any fishing trips anymore. The only time we did after that is the ones me and my son, what we did. And when me and him went fishing, I took my son one time up to Clear Lake, they called it. And the first time he went back in, I packed him in with a horse, but I didn't brag like my dad did on all that stuff, and I got all the stuff ready myself, what we had, because we was going to be back there 3 or 4 days. And so I packed up the pack horse pretty heavy, and we took steaks and everything else back in there when I went, and we just had a ball. But my day got kind of ruined. I mean, this place we was fishing at so far back in that, I mean, I found out you don't even need a hook to catch them. Because I got my son's pole all set up, got his worm on it, He had to be only about 5 or 6 years old. And I get it to him, now, son, you throw that out there and see that little bobber? That bobber goes underneath. You pull that fish out. Okay, Dad, I got it. So I figured I'd leave his little butt over there and he would leave him alone. He'll leave me alone. So I go over here and get mine all ready. Throw it out there. Dad, I got a fish, Look over there, sure enough, man, that old bobber's just running out there. So I had to reel mine back in, set my pole back down, go over there to him, take that fish off, because he just couldn't, his hands were too little, and he, scared of the fish. So I took the fish off for him, baited him up again. Okay, son, throw it out there. You got that down part pretty good. Went back to my pole again. I started setting down again. Hey, Dad, got another one. Sure enough, I go over there. He's got another big one. Got it, take it off the hook. Did it again. This time I just stood there. And his bopper wasn't out there 30 seconds, and boom, he got another hit. So he brought that one back in. I said, you know what? This is getting aggravating. I ain't not getting a chance to fish because of this kid. I said, hey, let me see your line. I took the line, I took his hook down there, and I cut it off. All I left was a little piece of stubby thing, like a little piece of nail. It's just a little thing out there. I figured, well, the fish, there's no way fish can bite on this. And I gave it to him. I said, son, this is how you bait now. I showed him how to bait with that, because I hadn't worried about him sticking himself down with the hook or nothing. I said, you just push that worm over this little stick here, and says, you'll be okay. So he did it. He threw it out there. This time he got the set for a little bit, and I went over there and got my pole all ready and threw it out there, and and I started getting a bite. And about that time I was getting my bite, he yells at me, Dad, I got another big one. I said, man, I know that kid has not got one. He can't have one. He's got no hook. But I go over there, sure enough, he had a big fish on his line, and I brought it in for him, and that fish swallowed that whole thing and caught it sideways in his throat, and he couldn't spit it out. I mean, that just did it for me today. I just gave up. So, okay, son, I'll sit right by you, and you go ahead and fish the rest of the day out. And he did. And we ended up having a ball, me and him, though. But time the weekend's out, I finally got to fish and got my limits and everything. And he just had a ball. And he's, till this day, he talks about that. And here he's, almost 40-something years old now. And he still remembers that day me and him went fishing and did that. And he says, I'll never forget that up there. Most of them, I told him he had no hook, and he's still catching fish. And he's still out there fishing these days. I mean, he loves it. I mean, as a parent, that's something really, if dads ought to do more often, I think, with their kids, because you do have a lot of fun with them. And you bond pretty close with them. So, I mean, me and my son, we've been close now our whole life with each other. We still do things with each other where a lot of dads don't get to do that with their sons. But I always have done that with my kids. Every one of them, been close with them. And they've been close to me. Now, their mother, they want to throw over the ditch sometimes, get rid of her, but they kind of hang in there. Well, I told you got a couple of guests here, and I got quite a few of them here, so we better start getting some up here if we can right now. Let's try Nancy Souza first. She's with the Tulare County Grand Jury. Come on, Nancy, come on up here and sit down. Hey. All right, you guys, this is Nancy Souza with the Tulare County Grand Jury. What do you do there? You're on a bunch of committees. What are you on?
I'm the chairperson for Justice Committee. I'm also on Health and Welfare. I'm on Education. And this year I am privileged to be on the Edit Committee, which that's where all of our committees collaborate and send their reports to. So enjoying it very much. This is my second term. Can do 2 terms and then I have to call it good, but I have very much enjoyed it this year and last year.
Coming back again?
You know, it's hard to say, but I would like to have the year off, yeah, and then I think I will come back again if I have the opportunity. The first year is a lot of learning experience. Second year, I have got to really get in there and get some things accomplished. This jury is a great collective group of people. We've got so many bright individuals that have really made a huge difference in our community.
We've got a couple of big things going on, don't we?
We have some big things going on, and I'm excited for our reports to come out. I think that we're very supportive of our community, but at the same time, we do want to know what's going on. We want the people to know what's going on. I've been really educated in the way that our government works, the way that our local agencies work together, as well as our elected officials. And some things have surprised me this year.
It's like that every year. Like I said, I've been on for 8 years, off and on. The last 2 years, I've been foreman with Nancy and these other people that we got on there, and they've been a ball. I mean, we're getting our time for recruiting right now, and we need to bring people in. That's one reason I brought Nancy up here to tell us, you guys, what it takes to be a grand juror. My job's a little bit different than their job, so I'm doing a lot more than they do. And they keep me thinking all the time and going all the time. I mean, this year we got so many new things that's happened where years before it has never happened. But this jury I've got now the last 2 years, they've been so pumped up. I mean, they're worse than bulldogs. I mean, they're like piranhas when they go after some of these people that we get these complaints on. So how did you get started in it?
Well, how I got started was I actually saw a little flyer there at the courthouse, and I went in, filled out the paperwork, and thought, if this is something that I'm meant to do, I'm gonna roll with it. So I believe they needed 11 jurors that year, and I went through the process. I interviewed with the association, which was Chuck and a couple others interviewed me, and then I made it that far, and then went through the background check. And then they have the big event where they draw names. And they needed 11 jurors, and I was number 11.
You was the last one pulled?
I was the last name pulled. I thought,
Boy,
as
you're
10
lucky.
came up, I thought, well, maybe this isn't
that.
where I'm supposed to be, but number 11, and it was me. And so it was kind of a fluke for me. And I've had, last year, I worked on some recruiting events and was able to recruit a really great guy, David E.
Oh, yeah.
I recruited
He's
him.
good.
Yeah, he's a retired sheriff and great. He's just been a great asset, I know, to the Justice Committee and to the whole jury. Let's see. Then I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And even during the interview, I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Well, we tried to explain it to you. We tried to tell you got a lot of
Yeah,
hours you're
well,
going to put in there.
yeah.
What we did on these interviews, we just made it so rough on them. We'd hope that you see if they drop out. And the ones that didn't drop out got to stay, got going apart.
That's true. And I'll be honest, the hours they fluctuate, more hours at certain times, less hours at certain times, but when you really enjoy what you're doing and you have such a great respect for the people you're working with and working for, our community, you find that it's just worth it. I enjoy being at work. It's kind of turned me into a workaholic.
We're about ready to go to commercial in a minute. Would you recommend?
I would recommend it for everyone who is interested in getting involved in their community and just learning so much and being a part of a great group of people.
All right, there we go. Well, next time, get you up here again, maybe for the years out, more recruiting. So, commercial. Be right back. All right, welcome back after the commercial here. And I told you we had a guy coming up here named Kornbred. And I've got him coming up. He's right here to my left now.
Yeah.
And he's a musician. Now, what all do you do besides just, you got a whole band or what?
Yeah, I got the best band in the valley, actually. I've got Sam Gardner on lead guitar. I got Mike Gentry on bass guitar. Jeff Halleck on the harmonica, and we just I've got a great band.
Where are you guys playing at right now?
We're not doing a lot right now. I kind of shut down last year after my son's sudden death, and we're just picking back up this year. We're trying
Sorry
to
to
pick
hear
up
that.
the pieces to get things going here. So
Yeah, my dad used to own a nightclub in Visalia,
yeah,
and we had a lot of live bands there.
oh yeah,
But when my dad passed on, it kind of stopped. We sold the business, and
yeah.
people now, they don't know what a live band is anymore.
Well, people don't go out like they used to much anymore, too. Of course, a lot of it's It's just the way society's tending to move. We're all kind of staying in our cubicles a lot more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. I mean, it look like people, they just don't want to get out for some reason. Me, I love getting out.
Oh, me too. I'm always
chance
on
I
the move.
can, you know.
I'm always on the go. Yeah.
I never like my seat don't get hot too often, but when it does, I catch on fire and I'm going.
Yeah.
I think you sang a song for us, maybe?
I could.
Yeah, hear what you
Yeah.
like. I like this.
What kind of music you guys like?
What are you best at?
No, just pretty much hillbilly stuff, you know? So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, as long as it ain't I baby, you baby.
Huh? Hey, baby, you baby?
Yeah.
Well, I can do one here for you. Yeah, just one song by the hillbilly Ray Charles.
I know him.
You know him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go.
You can't see too good.
Well, the bills are all due, and my baby needs shoes, and I'm busted. Hiding is down to a quarter of a pound, and I'm busted. I got a cow that weighs right, got a hen that won't lay. A big stack of bills getting bigger each day. The county's gonna haul my belongings away 'cause I'm busted. Well, I went to my brother to ask for a loan 'cause I'm busted. I hate to beg like a dog for a bone, but I'm busted. Well, my brother said there's not a thing I can do. My wife and my kids are all down with the flu. And I was just thinking about calling on you, 'cause I'm busted. Well, I'm not a thief, but a man can go wrong when he's busted. You know, the food that we put up last summer is all gone and I'm busted. Well, the fields are all bare and the cotton won't grow. Me and my family gotta pack up and go. Well, I'll make a living just where I don't know I'm busted. I got a cow that weighs right, got a hen that won't lay. A big stack of bills getting bigger each day. The county's gonna haul my belongings away to the busted.
That was great.
Well, thank you.
Made me think back of the old days when the old chickens were around.
Yeah, they got city ordinance. Can't even have chickens in the city
I know.
anymore.
Well, I still get at my house, but
Yeah?
mine was what do they call the city moved. I was country, and
Yeah.
the city came in and surrounded me.
Yeah.
So I still got to keep everything that I had.
Oh,
If
there
I had
you go.
chickens, horses, I got to keep them.
Oh yeah, I raised a lot of chickens when I was a kid.
Yeah, and I'm able to have 100 chickens if I want to.
There you
but
go.
I-
Price of eggs, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like them that much.
Yeah,
I had a
I know.
neighbor complaining to me before I got the chickens.
Yeah.
I had horses.
Ah,
The rope a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had 3 of them, and I'm only allowed 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was I thought kind of stupid, you know, at 2.5.
Well, as long as the back half, the front half
Yeah.
costs a lot of money, but the back half of a horse
Yeah.
don't cost much. Yeah.
But that's what they call for. I guess they figured out, you know, 2 big horses and a baby horse.
Oh, well, the front half, you have to
Right.
feed it. Yeah.
Anyway, my neighbor across the street got all mad at me because I had 3.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he started turning me into the city.
Oh, well, here we go.
Oh, they started harassing my butt
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
And finally, I said, you know what? I'm allowed to have 100 chickens. I'm going to get them.
Oh,
So
well, here we go.
I ordered 100 chickens and got them out to my house. I just let them all go.
Uh-oh.
They go, just
Yeah.
let them fly.
Yeah.
No certain spot. I just let them out all over.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't 4 days later. He comes knocking on my door. He goes, Mr. White. I go, what? He goes, you can have 3 horses, 4 if you want them, but get rid of them chickens. So
Yeah.
I went out, gathered them all up, and gave them to a friend of mine that raised
Yeah.
chickens. And
All you got to do is get a couple roosters in there about 5 o'clock in the morning. A lot of
Oh,
people don't get
man.
after you,
yeah, we got one down the block someplace that does that.
Yeah.
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 But you know, you got to think here when you're playing. You know, they got that Civil War reenactment going on this weekend.
Oh, is that going? Yeah.
Yeah, not here in
Oh, yeah.
Fresno, but Visalia.
Oh, Visalia,
Tulare County.
okay,
Yeah, we have
yeah.
it going there. In fact, I didn't know about it till today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that music you play fit right on in there.
Well, yeah, I do a lot of bluegrass, powergrass stuff, you know, and just a good variety of, you know, bluegrass, I'm kind of light on that. I'm more towards the powergrass side of the street. It's a little more modern bluegrass than the old standards, you know.
I know they have a couple of big deals up here by the river every year.
Yeah, that'd be the Central Valley Bluegrass Society.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do it out there at Hobbs Grove. They
Right.
quit doing that there for a while though, but I like they still put that deal on over there at the at Clovis Memorial through the summer.
Uh-huh.
They have a bluegrass band every Friday night out there at the Clovis Memorial Park
Oh.
out there.
Do you guys ever
Yeah.
you guys hire out or what?
Yeah, you can get a hold of me, Kornbred Miller. I'm on Facebook at Kornbred Miller, you know, and just
Yeah, it's a name you don't forget. Cornbread. I mean, I love
you gotta
corn. I
see-
love
you-
corn. I love the name of it. I love
you
cornbread.
got to get the proper spelling on there, you know. It's a Kornbred.
No C.
There's no A in the bread.
Yeah, don't. There is no A in the bread.
Well, yeah. Cornbread and corn fed. That's
Yeah.
me, you know.
And you got K for corn. Now, I spell kind of weird anyway, because even at the grand jury that I'm at, when I do something, write it down.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
call it Chuckanese.
Chuckanese.
Yeah,
That's good.
Chuckanese.
Yeah, I like
Because
that.
like cornbread here, I'd put down corn, C-O-R-N,
Yeah.
and then I spell bread.
That's it.
I spell things.
Well,
the way it
everybody
sounds.
always wants to put an A in that bread. That's all. It's just, you know.
B-R-E-A-D, you know,
Yeah.
that'd be me.
Yeah,
Because I spell words exactly
Well,
the way that I pronounce them.
yeah, yeah.
And a lot of them, they're not spelled that way,
Yeah,
I'm told.
well, Yeah.
That's why they come
I
up
do.
with
I do make good cornbread when I make it. Yeah, the VREAD type.
Ah.
Of thing. Yeah, I'm real good.
Oh,
at
I love that, you know, with milk.
There's always an
Sugar.
argument between the Texas people and some people from the South as to whether you put sugar in your cornmeal.
Yeah.
Cornbread.
Well, I like to put sugar in it.
Yeah?
With my milk, I put milk. And
Oh yeah,
cornbread in,
yeah,
a
the
little
warm.
sugar,
Yeah, that's I grew up on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love it that way.
I just made a big old pan of it the other day, and first thing I did is get that milk out and bust up that
Yeah.
warm cornbread in
Oh,
there.
delicious that way.
Oh man, that's eating to me.
Yeah.
You know?
My mom came up one day with cornbread one time. It's like corn. I call it a cornbread mush.
Yeah, and you fry it.
No, she didn't fry it.
Oh, she didn't
no,
fry it.
it came
Oh.
out like cream of wheat,
Yeah,
but it's cornbread.
yeah.
And you put your sugar on it and just eat it as like cream of wheat.
Yeah, my
And-
mom,
oh, that
my
was
mom
good.
used to take that cornmeal and make a mush like that, and then put it in a cake pan and let it get cold and gel up, get
Yeah.
hard. Then she slice it all up, fry it in bacon grease,
Mm.
and pour a little maple syrup on it.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, man, that's another thing I grew up on. You know, I call it fried corn pone.
Well, that's poor people. That's all we had. You remember right back then,
Oh yeah,
back them days.
that's one thing. I made a pot of beans last
Yeah.
week, you know, and I was thinking, you know, if people don't make beans like they used to.
No,
You know, I mean, there used to be a pot of beans on every once
Yeah.
a week in the house.
Oh yeah,
you know.
well, we still have it at my house.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, my wife
So-
make a big old pot and it'll last us 3 days.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I made a big huge pot, and
That's
the older
what I
it
do.
get, the more better it tastes.
Yeah, yeah.
For some reason, I
He
don't
said,
know why.
there's only one question.
Huh?
Is it gonna be brown beans or white beans this week?
Yeah. I like them both.
Well, yeah, so you kind of alternate,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. You get along with that, so.
Oh,
You know.
man, that makes me miss them days back in there, you know. So
Yeah.
we'd sit around at my house, and, you know, when I was younger, in my 20s and 30s, and people I know, because my dad had that restaurant, we had all these musicians
Yeah.
all the time.
Uh-huh.
And so before they go to work Saturday night or Friday night down there, they would usually, like, Thursday, they all come to my house, and we'd all
Yeah.
have a big barbecue or something, and everybody play and sing, and
Yeah, yeah.
just have a ball.
Yeah.
Me, I can play a tune. I mean, I got a nice guitar. Bought me
Right.
a real one, about $600 worth.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to learn this thing. Well, it's been 6 years. I still can't plug this.
Right, you gotta pick it up all the time.
Yeah, I do.
You gotta live with it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do a thing too, we do a lot of what we call musical potlucks.
Yeah, they were
And,
fun.
where we just all have big potlucks on
Yeah.
Sunday, and we all gather up in a circle, and we take turns, who's gonna play which lick. You know? And, boy, we eat really good. Boy, I mean, tell you.
Well, sure nice meeting you, Kornbred.
Yeah.
And I hope to see you more often and
Yeah,
gotta
well,
get out there and play a little bit. And because I got old Pig coming up. That's your name, Kornbred.
yeah.
And Jeff.
Yeah, you're in all the foods.
Yeah, having weird stuff today. So,
Pigs are made for eating, you know. I mean,
yeah.
that's-
Anyway, well, we got to go. So, see you after the commercial. Well, we're back from commercial time. Jeff got him finally settled down in the chair. Got him. I think I'm gonna get some glue.
Yeah.
Put it down there and glue him down.
Yeah,
And
there
we
you
got
go.
Pig. He's coming in here. Doug. I don't know why he still calls himself Pig. It's hard for me to get used to until I look at him and think Pig.
He's got
coming out
the
of the
good
shower.
story.
Yeah. Oh, that could be really ugly, ugly.
That's an image. You're welcome.
Anyway, we're all here today, and we've been thinking about that deal that went on back. Where did it go in? Nevada?
Well, Nevada and Oregon.
Oh, in Oregon,
yeah.
You know, about the government taking all their land and everything. And I didn't realize myself till yesterday. I heard on the news that the government of Nevada, they own 80% of Nevada. Mm-hmm. Man, that ain't much. That means the only part they don't own is Las Vegas itself.
Right,
The
right.
rest is theirs.
And if you notice, whenever the federal government owns the majority of a land in a state, there's no economic development.
Nothing.
Basically, all Nevada is Western Nevada. That's it. The part they own. You've got Lake Tahoe, which is a beautiful city. You've got Reno, and then Carson City, their capital, and then you've got the freeway that connects the two, that whole area up north to Las Vegas.
And we got Virginia.
And then nothing else. The federal government. If you want to know how lousy the federal government is at land management, traditionally, look at any Indian reservation that they have jurisdiction over.
It's a
Look at the
mess.
Sierra National Forest.
There's another
The
one.
federal government walked in and said, "We own this," and we didn't question them. Sorry,
We should have.
we didn't question them at all, and I apologize for
Oh,
that.
no problem. No problem.
Yeah, I'll turn it off.
It's important. He's getting calls.
Sorry, I turned it off. Sorry, it was probably my kid. Anyway, so they walk in. We didn't question them. The county nor the state ever even questioned whether they own it. They just said, "Hey, it's got the word national forest in front of it. Ergo, it's ours." And what have they done? They stopped all the logging. They stopped any landscaping. Every time they tried to do some landscaping, they've got a tiny little budget. And every time they tried to do something, they'd get sued by one of these eco-attorney firms
Oh, yeah.
who get paid. If you sue the federal government, and whether you win or they just settle with you, your fees are paid by the federal government. That's under a law called EJUS, Equal Access to Justice. And so these attorney firms, that is their whole business model, is to search out government entities that have a tiny, tiny little budget and sue them for every little thing. And so they settle because they can't afford to fight. And when they settle, the attorney gets paid. Some of these guys charge at $650 an hour.
Yeah.
So every time they went up to the forest to do anything, they got sued over a toad or a bird or a lizard or whatever. And they stopped doing it. So what did we have? We had a forest that was totally overgrown. It couldn't water itself. It couldn't take care of itself. It robbed water from the valley in huge, huge amounts. And then it burned up,
You're right.
killing all those little
Yeah.
birds and toads and lizards, by the way.
But
Yes.
that's different, that's a natural act.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of collectivism,
Yeah.
of a major government, the federal government in this instance, saying, we know better than anyone else, and because we're bigger than you and we have more guns than you, we will take charge and we will do it. And the local people not having the courage to stand up and fight that. Our county board of supervisors were told what to do. We gave them the complete blueprint on how to fight this, because it's been done. Apache, Arizona did it, and they won. Our Fresno County Board of Supervisors are cowards. They are afraid of taking the federal government off.
Yes.
Because they're on the federal teat. The federal government steals our money from us in the form of taxes and doles it back to us with strings attached through county programs, for example. And the Fresno County Board of Supervisors did not have the courage to do anything. They said they would, but they did nothing.
What kept them boys from getting shot like that guy in Oregon?
The one thing I'm gonna say to the
feds
add
up
on
there
to
shot
his
that
is
one
I'm,
dude.
I'm gonna call out one person in particular, Debbie Pachigian, and I haven't chatted with him or other people about it. That's one of the county board of supervisors that I feel has been one of the worst when it comes to this
We
forest
started a
thing.
recall against her. We had
Oh, really?
plenty of signatures. I paid for the fees to get it done. We published it. We delivered it down to the county, and the clerk at the county office who's handles it said, well, you need to know, first, I'm in Pachigian's camp, and secondly, I'm gonna find something wrong with this, and she
Oh.
did. She found something wrong with the form and said, you guys
And it was-
start over.
And it was their form, probably.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And that just shows, like you said, there's the cronyism, there's the outright corruption,
Yeah.
and if their people or staff that are so-called professional positions of public service with political hacks, then that's what we get.
Well, that's just like Rubio this week. He was saying that the lady that runs his campaign, that's all she's done. A regular housewife came out and she started running his campaign for him. And here he told the public, if he wins, that she will get one of the toppest high-rated jobs in government there is. And here she knows nothing.
Yes,
But just because she helped him get elected, she gets her pick.
I think that's an incredibly stupid thing to say if you're
Right.
running for office.
absolutely.
Yeah, I know, but he did.
Even if they
Well, there you go.
believe
Yeah.
it, yeah, and that shows,
I got this
that
guy-
alone shows that he
Yeah,
doesn't
right.
have the maturity level, the intelligence.
Yeah, what heard that? I'm
I mean,
like,
come on, if
what?
you're gonna be, we all know that they're pretty much all have dirt on them
Yeah.
regardless. But to say that in front of,
Millions
50
of
million
people? Yeah.
no, I expect the Clintons to lie to me to my face.
Well, that's normal,
and that's called language.
She'll
with
tell you
them.
that this week
But,
she does not lie.
Yeah,
Never told-
absolutely.
Never told a lie.
Absolutely,
Never,
she's never told a lie.
I'll tell you what, though, this situation up in Oregon.
Yes.
With the Bureau of Land Management, which several judges now have come out and said, they aren't really a federal agency. They're actually a private corporation.
Right.
Ah. And they have effectively been stealing land, threatening, coercing, extorting ranchers in order to take their land and their property from them. Property that have been in these families'
For years.
title since the
Centuries.
late 1800s in some cases.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so what happened up in Oregon is we had a group of people that said, enough, we're going to stand up. They stood up. They were peaceful. Nobody was hurt. No property was destroyed. The only injuries that occurred was when they ambushed these people up there and killed Lavoy Finicum. And if
Yes.
you watch that video, it was an assassination.
I agree.
Flat out murder.
And state that kept that the rest of it real quiet.
Well, yeah, well, the media.
Yeah.
The traditional media that we're faced with in this country is government controlled.
in
Oh,
cahoots with
absolutely.
them.
Only a few companies, corporations actually have ownership, and they're all in cahoots with them. And again, with the Oregon thing, there's also a dirty little secret our media will never disclose. There is uranium and other very, very valuable things, commodities underneath in the land and minerals on that ranch. That has been their motivation, and many of these places are going to be sending this stuff, and this is potentially nuclear material, to China, to our enemies, to communist dictatorships. Well, I would label China now as more of a fascist oligarchy, the way they've reshaped
Well,
things.
sort of like the United States.
Yeah, exactly.
We're no different.
And then also the Iranians and whatnot that Obama obviously handed $150 billion check to in our name and whatnot. But there's much more to this than
I
than
understand though why they're doing that. If you look at the debt load that we have with China and some of these other countries, it's getting way out of hand. And this is one of the only places that this government can look to satisfy those creditors.
Right.
And they're saying, hey, look, how about we cut you a deal and let you have some mining interests?
Right. And they're essentially, we've had years of politicians who have there's a lot shadier stuff, but on the surface, what they've done is they will do deals and other things just enough to get through their 8 years. And then the next guy comes in.
Kick it down the road.
Kick the can down the road. Then he realizes, my God, we've got unfunded mandates for Social Security and Medicare and this and that, and the numbers are just astronomical. They will never be payable. And then, so with Obama now, and again, he inherited a mess, to be fair, as well. He inherited it from Bush and everybody else prior. He's taking it to the socialist, I'm seizing your stuff, and we're going to take those minerals and hand them over to China to quote unquote satisfy this debt. And it's just an affront to so many American values. It's hard to get even started on what's worse and in what order, but it's across the board.
I will tell you what
criminality.
is a much greater threat to America, though, than the BLM or the EPA or Obama or collectivism. Apathetic, uninformed, unengaged Americans.
Yes.
The people that sit home watching American Idol, they can name every quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
They don't even know who their congressperson is.
Yes.
Or who's vice president?
Yeah, right. Those are the people that are the threat. Those people need to wake up and take responsibility for their lives, because by God, if you don't, your life is in somebody else's hands. If you enjoy being a slave, if you want your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren to be even more enslaved, then, hey, just keep watching the TV, stay on your butt, and enjoy it. But there's a few of us out here who are saying enough. Understand, the American Revolution was started and pretty much won by around 3% of the population. Most of the colonists were like, I really don't want to mess with England too much. I kind of like my life.
Yep.
3% of us had the courage to step up and start this amazing country. We need
Yes.
3% more.
Absolutely, and in almost every other instance of American, the good parts of American interventionism, such as World War II, prior to the war, as the
You're out of time, guys.
I'll wrap this up. But as we were seeing the rise of nationalist socialism in Germany, Adolf Hitler, the Nazi Party, we were seeing also the rise of there was a Spanish Civil War prior to World War II with communists fighting it out with nationalists. And the political extremes were there because of all the economic issues related to the disaster that was World War One, and that set the stage for the Second World War.
Right, that-
While we were sitting, our people were sitting on their tails. We did have a few people saying, "Look, we're going to have to confront Adolf Hitler at some point. If we don't do it now, when will we?" And if we had been even a six months later, there would have been a strong chance he would have developed an atomic bomb. And even, with the Russians and us closing in, if he had gotten that bomb, he would have dropped it and he would have said, "Guess what? You guys are going to grant me some concessions," and he'd probably, or his successor, would still be in power today.
was that
You
part
and I
right?
wouldn't be talking about this.
Yeah, you got that part
Absolutely.
right there, we're gonna have to end it. We are
Got right
on
back
overtime.
from break.
Yeah. Well, welcome back after the commercials all over with now. And now I got Haven. He's back again with this mighty,
Yes.
mighty good stuff here we need to talk about. I mean, he's got stuff that gives you energy to burn. And not a bad price either. So what you tell us what you got all up here, which I love this stuff right here.
That's the
This stuff
XM
is
Plus.
great.
That's green tea with Moringa oleifera, the world's most nutritious plant. That gives you energy, gives you nutrition. Unlike, the energy drinks that you buy in the store.
Yeah,
They got a lot of sugar in them. You have a crash from it. I have friends of mine, they say they start sweating when they drink it because
you do.
it really sets up their metabolism and ruins it. This is smooth, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah. You really, you don't know what it is in you, you just feel good.
And
you
so-
go, you don't break no sweats, no nothing, but you're going.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's really smooth, and it's got the nutrition. The other ones rob you of the nutrition.
Yeah.
And then you have the sugar high from it. This only has 3 or 4 grams of sugar, which is glycemic index friendly.
I want to put something back in your body that's good, because this old body here feel bad for a long time.
Well, it's got those antioxidants and anti-inflammatories. You were telling me how last week you're getting back up on the horse.
Yeah,
You're,
yeah.
You're mowing your own lawn.
Right. Doing all that now, right? When I'm done, I ain't hurting. And before, I get done, I'd sit down and try to get back up.
Yeah,
I'd have a hard time. I'd have to grab something, push up, and you grunt. My wife gets to yell at me all the time for grunting, for getting up and down. But now I don't grunt
Yeah,
when I get
it's-
up and down. When I took this, it just kind of took a lot of that stuff away.
It's amazing what it does for the arthritis, autoimmune type
Oh,
diseases.
it's unreal.
Because of what it has in it, the nutrition that it has.
Yeah, and you got this other stuff that it scares me to take anything else because it's so good there. But one of these here, he's got this other stuff over here, and one of them will to clear your brains all out. Like mine needs to be sometimes. I get working sometimes. I got so much stuff fogged up in my head. I don't know if they're going or coming. And one of these will straighten that up. I don't know which one though.
Yeah, we've got the XM Burn, which is a thermogenic, which we have a weight management system. When you take it all together, it helps your flora in your stomach. That's the Smart Mix here. That has probiotics in it or prebiotics in it. So it helps your gut health, so your digestion works correctly. You've got the Super Mix. It's got, each of these two have one portion of Moringa oleifera. This has a double portion. That's why they call it Super Mix.
So this is
Yeah, without
size?
without the probiotics or prebiotics. This has just twice as much moringa. That's why they call
that
it.
one clear my head up.
Yeah, that will. And then we have the premium tea and the daily tea to do a herbal cleanse of your system,
Yeah.
and you end up with a moving experience over that one.
Ooh.
So that'll get you going. And a lot of guys when they're doing weight loss, they have a nice good meal. They have that to help get things moving along.
So that replaced that little bitty pill I got to take every day.
Yeah, and then there's the AM, which is a fat burner. And so a lot of times people will switch between the burn and the AM because your body gets used to one.
Yeah.
And then you switch to the other one so you can have a little back and forth. And then the PM If you take the burn and the plus together, you might be a little too wound up by nighttime, and the PM will settle you back down so you can go to sleep. So that's what the PM is for. Now, I've got a good story, too, that just happened to me this week.
What?
I went to my cardiologist, and
Go heart doctor.
yeah.
I hate him.
I had, a few years ago, I had atrial fibrillation, AFib.
Uh-huh.
They did an ablation, they went up the groin and
Oh,
burned
yeah,
it up.
yeah.
Okay, and I've got burnt spots on my chest where they burnt me too many times,
Yeah,
get
so
me
they
hot
zap-
reboot,
they
as I
zap
call
you,
it, like
man.
like a computer, hot reboot. A year or so later, I had flutter, and they went in and burnt me again. I've been on Zija, actually Moringa alifera, in the weight management system for a year now. I've lost 50 pounds, okay?
A lot of weight.
My doctor's taken me off my thyroid medication, my cholesterol medication, cut my blood pressure to every other day and my thyroid's to every other day. My immune system is better. I used to get sick and get cellulitis when I'd go on trips and get blisters and whatever, and I'd get an infection in my leg. They call it, like, it's a staph infection. I haven't had one in over a year. My
them are
immune
bad.
system is coming back online. And it's not just the moringa, I think it's the whole system. It's having the gut health, having the colon health, with your expressing your organs and
Yeah,
your
everything cleaned out.
everything. And so I went to my cardiologist this week, and he takes my blood pressure and goes, okay, and he has me do an EKG, and he comes back, he says, "You're not an AFib." You're not an AFib. You know, I was surprised that, because usually if you're an AFib forever.
Huh.
You know, and they want you to take the blood thinners and
Yeah,
everything
yeah, yeah.
else to keep you from getting
right. I take those now.
a clot in your.
Yeah, blood clot.
Yeah, and go into your head and give you a
Right.
stroke. And it's not just the moringa, it's the weight loss. The weight loss is the 50 pounds I've lost, the nutrients, the colon cleanse, the probiotics. It's the whole system is really realigning my system.
That makes me think of something, because here, about a week ago, I went and had blood tests done. I've been taking that for a little over 2 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
And my doctor, my heart doctor, cut one of my pills in half, my blood thinners. I didn't know why, but that's the way it came out of my test.
It could have been. You never know.
Well, do you know what, we're gonna do something? We're gonna do something different today.
Okay.
We talked about this quite a bit, and we got a guy here named Kornbred.
Uh-huh.
Play a song for us as we close out today.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, he's got about 1 minute and 30 seconds left.
You can go pass that if that.
So
Anyway,
just go ahead and let him take off.
All right.
Give us one.
Here I am. All right, well, you know, it's gonna be a great weekend here in the valley. Get outside and enjoy it. Don't be sitting inside no buildings. Sunday morning, I'm frying chicken, watching baby working in the kitchen. I stayed out late last night, and I'm moving kinda slow. I ain't a-waiting on nothing, I just got nowhere to go. I need a haircut, I could take a shave. I like to hear my baby call my name. Turn up the country music on that satellite radio. I ain't a-waiting on nothing, I just got nowhere to go. I've been working, I've been gone a couple of weeks. I got nothing but time, but all I want is my baby in my reach. I ain't no waiting on nothing, I just got nowhere to go. Money in my pocket, some shopping I wanna do. Six-pack of beer and my red wing shoes.